Disappointing for us not to get the win here today. How do you reflect on this game?
Yeah, I think ups and downs. I think with the ball we had to be better. Coming here, the way they play as well, their fans behind them, we knew it was going to be difficult, so we had to be on our A game. I think possession-wise we didn't really do that. I think defending-wise and keeping the clean sheet is a big one, especially for us defenders and the whole team, to be honest. So that's a thing we can take away from this game. But like I said before, yeah, you know it's always going to be a difficult one. Coming here, the way they've been playing this season. So again, you had to be on your best game with the ball, so we can learn some things from that and take away some things from that. But I'm also very proud of the team of keeping the clean sheet.
You mentioned the clean sheet, especially because Sunderland had great attacking threat there, and it takes great character to keep a clean sheet like that. And you were such a huge factor in that with some impressive saves as well.
Yeah, you know, coming here, I also have to help the team out. The way they play, very physical, very attacking. They're going to create chances. It's a given. So I just have to be ready and help my team out. And you know, especially that one in the first half was a good one, I think, because they started to create momentum and trying to keep us in the game. So that's my job as well as a goalkeeper. So I'm happy to help the team out today. Yeah.
You definitely played your part, and with this now we've got 2 more games left. One more home game for the season as well, and that's coming next against Nottingham Forest. How do you and the team get back to Carrington, get back to the training ground and prepare yourself for that next game?
I think the way we've always been preparing every week. For us it's a very important game, the next one. This was a very important game as well. I think every one of the last 3 remaining games were important for us to keep that momentum going, to finish as high as possible with the most points as possible. So yeah, I think next week, last home game especially, we want to give the fans something because they've been behind us and been helping us the whole season through ups and through downs. So I think for me personally, and I think for the team, and the manager is going to hammer on it as well, that it's going to be a big one for us. So we're going to go full for it, yeah, for the win.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, Michael, a clean sheet here, always a positive, but also just 1 shot on target during the game. How do you assess the overall performance? Because Sunderland, it's a tough place to come.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough place to come. I think they've got a good record here all season. Unless we take the point, I think a clean sheet's always good to get. I think we've scored a lot of goals this season and we've created a lot of chances. So. It's just one of those games, you know. It's a tough game, and today was, in the end, was a decent enough point, and we nearly won it at the end.
You make a few changes for the starting 11, and when you make changes, it's kind of natural that you lose a bit of fluidity or the movements and the connections. To which extent do you put the performance on that as well?
No, listen, it's one game. It's the time of the season. I think we've done a lot of good work, and there was some changes today, and I thought as a collective and the spirit and the attitude of the boys was really good, and I think that and I've seen it's easy to fizzle out after you've had a spell, and you come towards the end of the season. We were really focused on finishing the season strong, and today, as I said, is a positive result in terms of the point. Was it going to be the perfect game? I think we probably went into it not expecting the perfect game, and understanding the situation and the changes. So it is what it is. I think it's something that we need to overthink, and certainly not to be negative about, because there's not a lot to be negative about. But we understand that we can be a little bit better than we were at certain times today, and that's something obviously we can work on as we go.
You touched upon the performance of the players that got chances in the starting 11. So you mentioned the attitude. How do you assess what comes into play when you're assessing their performance?
No, they're not on trial. You know, it's otherwise as a team we could be a little bit better than what we were today, but certainly not. We know exactly what the boys can do, and some have played a little bit more than others. I think everyone's contributed in such a good way, and you know, I think as a team today, as I said, we could be a little bit better. But I'm pleased with the overall connection, the commitment, and the willingness to work for each other today, and to take a point is okay.
And to which extent also it's a bit natural. You mentioned the bit of a drop when you reach your main goal, which is Champions League football, and how do you manage this in the next couple of games until the end of the season?
No, we gave everything this week. I think it's obviously last home game of the season that we'll work towards this week. So we'll work well, we'll enjoy the week, we'll work hard and prepare for that, just as we would any other game. And yeah, of course, look forward to it. It's important that we finish the season strong, and I think today is a positive step for us.
Yeah. How do you make sure you finish the season on a high, positives, last home game of the season, the next one?
Just do what we do, what we have been doing, nothing different. I think keep improving, keep working, taking the positives, play with the confidence. It's a tough league. It's a tough league to get results. So today, to take a point from here is okay.
Michael, we know how tough it is coming to this place, but to walk away with a clean sheet in the manner that we fought for it as well must be pleasing to you.
We're pleased with the clean sheet, definitely. I think it's something that we give us to build on moving forwards as well. I think we know what we weren't totally at our best today. I think we've had a run of really good results and some really good performances. And today was a different side to us. And sometimes when it's not coming as easy and it's a bit more of a challenge, you take something from the game. And today we did that. And I thought we finished really strong and thought we were going to win it towards the end. So it was a really good mentality from the boys today.
A huge positive to take is obviously the saves from Senne Lammens that really kept us in it. So we had the opportunities to fight at the end as we did. How pleased are you with his performance and also his maturity at such a young age?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it many times. I'm delighted with Senne. I think he's improving as well all the time, but he's so composed, not really ever flustered. Obviously had the moment last week, but that's football and it's going to happen at certain times. It's the life of a goalkeeper, but I think for the most part he's been so solid and calm and produced some moments when we've needed him, which is exactly why he's there, and we trust him to make the right decisions and do the right things, and he's been a big part of the results that we've had.
And at Manchester United, we're never afraid of a challenge. We always dig deep, fight until the absolute end. We've got 2 more games to fight in as well to finish as high as what we possibly can. Yeah,
and that's we're here because we want to play more games and we want to try and win as many games as we can. So we're hugely motivated to finish the next 2 games as strong as we can.
Let's do it.
There it is, he's cutting it again. Nicky Clark has got his second of the afternoon. It's now 2-2 between Stenhousemuir and Queen of the South. That Scottish Championship playoff second leg has gone into extra time. That's why that one is still going. At the moment, it's heading to penalties in that game because there's nothing to split these 2 sides at the moment. Let's come back to our talk about Manchester United and let's just pick you up, Merce, on that squad size because it's clearly something that's going to be needed addressed. I mean, it's underlined by the fact that in the 4 games where Casemiro hasn't started, they haven't won. And, of course, he's leaving the club at the end of the season. So I guess the question is, they're going to need to do some big buying over the course of the summer. You're going to be back in the Champions League and hopefully competing on multiple fronts next season. They just haven't got that depth. No. So does Carrick get trusted to help bring that depth?
Well, that'll be up to the owners of the club.
Do you think he should?
For me, he's done enough to get him in this. He's got him into the Champions League. They never looked like getting in the Champions League before he come in a million years. But he's a big decision because, you know, they've got to buy a centre midfield player, top draw centre midfield player. The one that comes to mind is Anderson, but Anderson's still young. Do you know what I mean? He's played at Forest. You see him this week, the other day at Villa. Got run ragged, you know. So he's got to come here and dictate the game with Mainu. They haven't got a centre forward. I mean, Sesko plays up front, but they still need another one. Because Zertsky, for me, just hasn't got it, in my opinion. I think he's a nice player, but I just don't think this is the club for him. But they need to sort something out, because I think next season, watching that today, and I don't want to take anything away from Sunderland, because I thought Sunderland were really, really good. But they will have to invest, and I don't know how it'll work with the fair play rule, how much they can invest, but they need some players.
Anyone here be surprised, well, not surprised to see Carrick not in charge come the start of next season? Anyone expect him to maybe not be there next season?
I think he deserves it, but as we spoke about earlier on in the show, why has it took this long to appoint him? So there's always, I think they must be looking at other candidates and saying other people where they interview other people, but all Michael Carrick can do is do the job he's doing at the moment. Merce is right, though. You can't be happy going to Sunderland, you're a Man United Football Club, and getting a 0-0. He's probably happy because he knows his team didn't play well, and he's happy to come away with a point. But
even if you privately think that, don't say it publicly.
Exactly. Don't say it. And they did have a few injuries. They missed Casemiro as well, but I think he's done a brilliant job there, but a fantastic job. But next season is when he'll be judged massively. But you wish him well, and you hope he does get the job.
We shall see. Well, let's get the Sunderland side of things. I mean, it's a game that really got away from them in terms of the chances they created. Let's hear now from Granit Xhaka.
Okay. Granted, a good performance from Sunderland, maybe frustrated by the lack of goals. What's the overall feeling?
Yeah, the same feeling. I think we did nearly a perfect game, creating so many chances against a team who is very good with the ball and without the ball. But yeah, if you have so many chances, you need to score one at least. And it's a point for sure, because we had the feeling that we had them. We had good momentum in the first half, second half, and yeah, but this is part of the process, and we keep working and believing in ourselves.
Yeah, you spoke about process. From what you know about this team, why do you think it was hard, specifically today? Because if in a very positive season at Sunderland, if there's one aspect that fans may point out is goals, you can improve on that aspect. So where do you think you can? How do you think you can address that?
I give you a very easy and simple answer. Stay humble. We got 48 points. We just got promoted. We are playing an amazing season. Of course, when you play this type of season, demanding is very high. We know what we have to do, where we can to improve, but stay humble, stay calm, because we are getting there.
Senne against Queen of the South in the Scottish Championship playoff final second leg is going to penalties in that game. Right, let's just pick things up from a Sunderland point of view. They're on to 48 points now. It's twice the amount of points they got last time they were in the Premier League. And it's only goal difference at the moment, Merse keeping them out of the top 10. Coming into today, they lost 4 of their previous 5 at home. Their home form at the start of the season was absolutely key in terms of what they've gone on to do throughout the season. Are we seeing a return to some of that fight we saw from Sunderland in the first half of the season?
Yeah, I don't think fight, because I think they had that. I just think a little bit more fresher. I thought today was... It's one of the best I've seen them this season, if I'm being honest. And I say that, I know they didn't win, but they were at it from word go. They put Man United under pressure. I know Man United had a couple of people out, but you're talking the team third in the league, one of the banging form teams. Played with intensity. Robbie was, honestly, what a handful. What a handful. He had one mistake where he's gone for a header and he's headed it the wrong way. But yeah, I really thought they were good today. And I mean, Xhaka, you talk about player of the years and all that. I mean, he's got to be signing of the year, in my opinion.
Could you see him heading elsewhere? I mean, for example, could he do a job at somewhere like Manchester United?
I don't know. I wouldn't like to say. I mean, it's a bit different at Sunderland. You know, they sit back and then, and then they go from a base. You know, when you're playing for Man United, you've got to take the game to teams. Man United want to sort of open the game up, and Sunderland don't play like that. They go up the pitch together. It's very, very rare with Sunderland that it's all open play, and that's what Man United want to try and get. So, no, but I don't want to put Sunderland in it. I think he's been brilliant for Sunderland, and Sunderland have been brilliant for him, and I'd be shocked if he didn't stay there.
And I tell you what, they've got Everton away, Chelsea home, final 2 games. They've got 2 big things to play for. One is a finish in the top half. I know at one stage we're talking about Europe, but bigger than that, finishing above Newcastle.
If he's bigger than that. Yeah, that's the biggest one. If they finish above Newcastle, that would be unbelievable for Sunderland. Unbelievable.
You know, play to the potential. And for up until Christmas, like I said, they was in Champions League spots. I think everybody understands that there's probably going to be a dip somewhere, but the way they've continued it and they've not give up, how the work rate and how they graft and, you know, they all battle, that's a big part of football, and they certainly done that all season, and they've done it again today, and it shows. You know, when it's a messy game, it looks like more of their game, you know, and they got a couple of chances off it, and like I said, early on in the season, they probably finished them off, but they've been brilliant. Yeah, they've got to be, you know, happy how they've done this season.
It was really scrappy. When you're in a game like that, is it harder to get on the ball and get your basics right? Because there were a lot of misplaced passes and people slipping over and quite a lot of contacts. The ball's bobbling about here and there. It's a weird, scrappy game.
Yeah, it's not nice. We've all been there. Sometimes as well, when you're away from home and, you know, I think if you're at home, your own fans can get you going. When you're away from home, it's a tough place to go, stadium I like. Obviously, sometimes just them wanting it that little bit more because they've lost the last 3 games. It's a big game for them, and trying to get going. We could see it, couldn't we? It just wasn't happening. I think we seen Bruno's pass at the end. I think where he got clipped in the face and it just went. It's not like a Bruno pass.
Yeah.
Kind of went too long and kind of summed up the game.
It wasn't happening.
You said it weren't happening. Sometimes it's like that, or sometimes you need someone to do something special in that one moment, and we just didn't quite have that today.
We're interested to know who is your man of the match from the game today. You can scan that QR code and get involved and follow us on WhatsApp while you're doing so. So scan that. Say who you believe is the man of the match. Premier League have given it to Senne Lammens. Can you make a case for anybody other than Lammens?
Listen, Harry and Martinez were okay. Obviously, they got in a couple of times. But for me, I still have to be Lammens, I think. Just for the 2 important saves he gave us. I'd love to say could be somebody else, but no, I reckon Lammens is the right choice.
Any change on that, Simo?
No, the same. I think we've not had a clean sheet as well for a while. Not kept many. So I think for him personally, he'll be delighted in that dressing room that he's got a clean sheet and made a couple of good saves. Kept us in it.
Can't really give it to any of the forward players because we were waiting until added time to get our first shot on target. It was just a day when they just didn't quite click. Yeah, it wasn't, and I thought it got a little bit better when Dorgu came on. Like I said, he's willing to run in behind, and when he did that a few times, he's in. You could see the space there. Unfortunately, we didn't get much from it, but he set us up with a couple of chances. I suppose his cross started the Cunha effort at the end, which obviously got blocked. But yeah, he just wasn't quite happening, Sully. No. It can happen. Yeah.
Michael Carrick, we're just assuming that he'll be the man there to do the squad rebuild. I mean, do results like that, you're trying to present it as a positive, but is he definitely getting the job?
I think he can flip it the other way because we've saw those limitations today. Even with Casemiro in there, nothing really changed. I know he's popped up with some big goals, but his general all-round playing there, kind of lack of speed, recovery, you know what I mean? That's still evident in there. And he's been able to protect those players. With those limitations, he's still been able to pull the team together, get the defensive structure right. Harry Kane, retreat towards the edge of box, protect him as well. So for me, yeah, it actually complements in terms of what he's done with that team. And he actually needs, rather than kind of criticism for this performance, or for me, you have to double down in terms if he needs help and he needs to be backed in the summer in terms of recruitment, which I think he will.
Is he the right manager for you, Carrick?
Yeah, I think so, because I think when he got the job, he would have asked, what are you looking for from me? And he'd have been told, Champions League. We don't care how you do it, get us Champions League. We need to be back at the top table. And he's figured out a way for this Man United team to win games and get points. I don't think it's sustainable going into next year. So he will obviously have to pivot. But he's achieved what he was asked to do, because he can look back at them and say, well, if you wanted to play a certain brand of football or you wanted to play a certain style, then you should have told me that when I came in and I could have done that. Results might not have been the same, but with the squad available to him, he's done the best he possibly can.
I think he's earned another year.
Yeah,
regardless if he gets another 3 or 4 year contract, I think he's earned another year, and then you reassess it again and potentially 1 or 2 more high profile managers available next summer.
We can have a look at the league table after today's game, and Man United are comfortable in third. Sunderland would have been going into that top 10. It would have gone above Chelsea, actually, if they had won the game, as they probably deserve to do, but they have to make do with 12th place because Bournemouth and Brighton have both won today, which means that Brentford will have to do the business against Man City. We've got the Brentford game next week, so in terms of a top 6, they probably need to end the title race today and then go and do what they need to do next week.
I think that's possible.
Beat Man City?
Yeah, I think so. I think they can hurt them. We're talking about counter-attack, speed on the counter-attack. Sade, Ouattara, Thiago, how loose Manchester City were against
Everton. I like
Everton.
this, Kenny. You're building up our game for next week.
But I think it's obvious, in terms of how they can, and everything to play for Brentford. Can they sit in, though, and absorb that amount of pressure that City are going to throw at them?
You only need a lot of things going your way there. You're going to have City to have an off day finishing, and you're going to have a Mark Gahey-style mistake like last week at Everton.
Last word on United. If you're a Manchester United fan, there's plenty of them watching. We mentioned at the very top of the show, it's been a bit of a wild ride over the last few years, mostly for not a good one. A roller coaster that's mostly going down with the odd up. Would you be reasonably confident that you can have a nice steady hand, Michael Carrick at the tiller, couple of signings in, and you can have a season next year that's just not too mad, that they're just getting in and around the top 4 and nothing too crazy going on?
My personal belief is I think Man United have bottomed out about a year ago, And I think the slow march back to where they want to go is coming. I think all the crazy Garnachos, Anthony's, director of football, all that stuff is behind them. And I think a nice steady hand with Michael Carrick, Champions League football, they've been an attractive proposition. A couple of signings will move them on again next year. And then I'd say by this time next year, 2027, 2028 season, you'd be kind of going, they could possibly go and win the league, I think.
Okay. Any chance of them doing that next year? Challenging for the title?
No, I think it's too soon. Yeah. I think it's too soon.
The others will get the house in order first, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely in an upward trajectory. When you hear players that have been linked to it, I think they're exactly the right type of players. Culture seems to be right. Attitude is right amongst the players. Everybody seems to be together at that football club. They're moving forward. Just going to have to show a little bit more patience.
OK, well, we'll have to wrap things up there. We're back next Sunday for that Brentford game. That's a Sunday kickoff rather than a Saturday. Thanks to Kenny and to Damien. Leinster Lions coming right up. Chat to you soon.
Well, at the Stadium of Light, there are no goals between Sunderland and Manchester United, but I think it's fair to say it's Sunderland who have been the better team going forward.
They have. I mean, with Robbie up front, he holds the ball up, he brings people into play. They've obviously had a few opportunities. They've been the more progressive side, and it's a hard place to go, the Stadium of Light. So Man United will be happy that it's 0-0.
Yeah, Noah Siddiqui was the one who had some great opportunities. Let's look at the first one and talk us through it, Gary.
Yeah, we did. He did well in this first phase, to be honest. He plays the ball there to give and go. He's seen the space, attacked the space, the ball's in front. He does everything right up until this point. It's a great save in the end. I just thought he could maybe open his body out a little bit more.
And maybe even just have another touch, because he's taking his shot from the edge of the box. You can see here his first touch. He's got enough time to take it even closer to the keeper.
Well, a great piece of play.
Yeah, well, this is another one, John, from Siddiqui. Two great opportunities for him to
they pass the ball around. They play well in midfield, and they're very strong up front. As the ball comes in here, as you can see, I think, obviously, you may look at it and think it's a miss, but I think that's going in if he doesn't get a deflection. Mason Mount gets a bit of a deflection on it, and if it doesn't hit Mason Mount, I don't think the keeper's getting anywhere near that with the power he had on that.
Yeah, Mason Mount today deputising since there's no Casemiro in the team, which we know is going to be the case next season. How's he done so far?
He's done OK. I think he's had a mixed bag in terms of his performance. Just look at a few of the highlights here. I think he's asked to play in a very different role. You know, Mason likes to play in that number 10 role. So to play in this defensive role is slightly different. One thing he has got his legs. We see here, recovery tackle, gets back in and makes the tackle in that position there. And it's just about positional play if he's going to play more often in that role, which I spoke about earlier with the block there, which was key. This one here gets on the ball. This is what he used to do. Comfortable on the ball, drives out, makes a decent pass. But ultimately, like I said, he has got legs. He just needs to know positionally where to be in these positions. But again, it's difficult because he's asked to play in a position that's a bit alien to him, and he's not had much game time in terms of consistent level at Manchester United this season, a lot due to injuries.
And Kobe Mainoo is, they're swapping in terms of who's going to play that number 6 role, sometimes Kobe, but neither of them playing that role, so they're going to have to replace Casemiro for that position.